right, so officially, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Mike, I'm the cruise director on board Icon of the Seas, and of course with me today.
Hey everybody, my name is Robert and I'm Royal. I'm the HR manager of Newbuild actually, and we're here on Icon today.
We are, and it's an amazing time because the ship has come to life. We're just about to embark, but at the time we're taping this, with our inaugural shakedown and trade events, and then our first revenue voyage.
It's so exciting, you know, we've worked super hard through the time in Turku that we were over there. We brought the ship across. We did our mass arrival, of course, in Spain. The ship came across. Now we've showcased ourselves yesterday in Miami. We've arrived here, and of course, now we want to showcase to you guys what our spaces look like and some of the key components of our crew community that exists here on board the Icon of the Seas. Super exciting time.
Speaking of crew community, did we ever have a crew community on our crossing? It was one of the only times I've ever done a crossing without guests, and especially over the Christmas and New Year's holiday season. We had a New Year's balloon drop for the crew on the Royal Promenade. We had Christmas caroling. We had Santa's arrival. It was a wonderful time to be on board, and that community grew ever so much stronger on board the ship.
So true, and you know the funny piece that comes along with this, so I'm going to take us back a little bit in time. When we initially moved onto the ship, this was the only space that we had was our actual Crew Windjammer, and it was interesting as we got on. Now it's come to life, and you're absolutely right. The crew had an amazing time. These guys were on board with us for their crossing. I think we can hands down say this was without a doubt the best Christmas probably in the fleet, for sure. Well done, Mike. Well
done. It was great. No, it was a big team effort. Now, we're going to kick off today's tour of the Icon of the Seas crew neighborhood right here in the heart. It's where everybody comes at least 2 to 3, sometimes 6 times a day, and that is our Crew Windjammer.
Indeed. So this is a great space for us, and again, all of our guys that are here with us and the kids that are with us here today, this was a space that originally, when it was designed actually, if you have a chance to see this, and we'll showcase this to you, we brought a lot of light in because there's portholes that actually exist inside this, in the Crew Windjammer. The colors were changed, we changed the design, we really brought it to life to make it feel like this is our space, and it is our space, but more importantly, there's nothing that we get around better as a group and come together with than food, right? And so that's what this space is really about. And I think one of the great advantages to this space was we don't have as many seats as we do on other ships, so our mess is a bit smaller, our Crew Windjammer is a bit smaller, and I think one of the advantages to that is it allows us to tuck in together to actually build our culture and continue to build our culture as a team and to be a team together. And so this space was really well designed for us. Lots of design elements. We added more TVs than we ever have in the area as well. The design spaces are in such a way, we've got portholes, great opportunity during the crossing, and lots of the crew talked about during the crossing being able to watch as they were through the windows and the portholes that were here. The space is really amazing, and it links into, and of course this is the first ship where we actually have the 9th neighborhood here, which is the crew neighborhood, which is really, really cool, and we're going to introduce you to that more and more. This space was specifically designed to be able to help us actually bind together as a team.
Yeah, and live cooking station, which is impressive, right around the corner.
Breakfast, we've got an omelet station, a fried egg session. Lunchtime is oftentimes pasta. In the dinner time, depends on what chefs have got on the go or what's on the matrix, but we do have a live cooking station. I think what's really neat about this ship specifically too is this area is actually open 22 hours a day. So we've got 2 hours that we're actually cleaning and doing various things, but you know, 22 hours a day there's food available. Our ships operate 24 hours a day, and of course Icon is so large with a large population on board right now, crew population on board, so we do have that available. We've also got, I think one of the coolest features is we do wing nights, we do pizza nights. We've got so many cool things with the pizza ovens and everything, so there's a lot that's offered here for the crew.
Yeah, very enticing.
Yeah, truly.
All right, let's take them to somewhere else that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Which is our crew cafe.
Let's do it.
You know, one of the most popular sayings on a cruise ship is no rice, no power. However, the second one is that we are a caffeine machine. We work very long hours.
True.
And a lot of us really rely on that caffeine to keep us motivated throughout the course of the day. So we are, of course, in the crew coffee shop.
Truly. So the Java Cafe on this ship is actually just forward of where the Crew Windjammer is, and this actually became the epicenter during our startup. This was one of the first spaces that came online for us as crew, and it has continued to be that. And it's interesting too, there's a table in here which we'll get a shot of during the video, where the executive committee met every morning, and this really became the epicenter center and the hub, and that hasn't slowed down at all. This space is designed with more space than you can imagine, comfortable furnishings. I mean, you look at the size of the coffee shop here, it really is an amazing space and the crew love it. And
it's almost slots. Yeah, it's almost 3 and 4 times bigger than the traditional Java Cafe.
True.
As far as counter space and staffing goes, because on Oasis class, it's normally just one staff member working behind there, but here you'll sometimes see 3 or 4.
It's true. And I'm going to give you an interesting statistic, Mike. How many cups of coffee do you think we did before we actually came into the revenue portion of the business?
Like per day?
Per day.
Oh gosh. Well, we had, let's say 2,400 crew. I would say 3,000.
So interestingly enough, I asked one of the baristas that was with us during startup, and we actually were doing 3,000 on the morning shift and 3,200 cups of coffee in the afternoon shift. So over 6,200 cups of coffee were served out of this space right here. That's how busy it was, and that's how important coffee is for us.
Wow, that's how we got so much work done. That was
Truly,
amazing.
Exactly. And of course, we built the ship in Finland, and Finland is known for the amount of coffee that they drink. So our crew fell right in line as soon as they got into Finland.
Yeah, this is a great place to come and relax during the day. Quick social meetup.
You bet.
And it's the hub. Everything we do is socialize, socialize, socialize.
It's true. And I think one of the advantages of this space specifically, so the Java Cafe is a great spot because in the evening, of course, we serve wine and beer out of here. Off to the side, there's a couple of things that we're going to show you as well, but our barber shop is just adjacent to us here. So if you're waiting to get your hair cut here on board, you can have a quick glass of wine or a beer if you want to, or a cup of coffee or a smoothie if you want to. The crew market is over here to the left-hand side of us. So that's our slop chest. And everything is right in this general area, the gaming space. It really is kind of the epicenter for us.
And the entrance to the crew gym is located just off here as well.
True.
And it is the largest crew gym at sea.
It's amazing. And the actual crew gym on this ship was specifically designed. It's actually got higher ceilings than we've ever had on a ship before. Great for our mental well-being as well as our physical well-being as well. Obviously, Mike uses the gym lots and I don't. But there are some great advantages to it. And we'll show that space to you as well because it really is a world-class gym that we've never done before. And the feedback from our crew has been just how amazing that is. And if you've watched the Follow Me on Icon video, you would have seen that Makita, who was featured in that video actually, talks about how important the gym is for us. And lots of our crew utilize our gyms on board just because it is so good for us mentally as well as for physical.
Yeah, let's get on out of here. There's about 30 people waiting for
There's
coffee.
There's a lineup for coffee.
Let's head over to the game table.
Sounds good. All right, let's see how these guys make out. So this actually, the forward area of the crew space actually and the crew community area is an actual gaming space that we've got. So we've got obviously our ping pong table, we've got our pool table that's back here as well, and I've got Mike to see. We're gonna see how these guys actually make out. I have a sneaking suspicion the cruise division is gonna get crushed by restaurants. Hey, I wanna introduce you to Susanna, who is one of our lifeguards, and we've got a lot of our lifeguard team here with us today. I wanna introduce you to Susanna because he's got a favorite spot on board the ship. So what is your favorite part of the crew area on board?
Yeah, actually it's Java Cafe, that is my favorite place, bro. Yes.
Sweet, okay, and why do you love the Java Cafe so much?
Because I like to drink coffee. When I drink coffee, that everything that's on my mind is really pressed, so I can start my duty. So that's actually why I like Java Cafe.
Awesome, and of course, obviously, being a lifeguard and all, has got to be well aware of what's happening around him, his surroundings and everything. So it's a great opportunity. And Susanna, you live in a single cabin on board this ship, right? You're in one of the single share cabins?
Yes, I'm staying on single cabin.
And what do you like about the single share cabin? Have you got the upper bunk? Have you got the upper room or the lower room?
Yes, I got the upper.
Cool. And tell me a little bit about the room. What do you like about your room?
Yes, it's like a single cabin that is really, I like that because it's a private place. I mean, like I can do like, it's really quiet, like it's really nice, so that is actually what I like.
Awesome. And of course, that's the beauty of this ship. So on the Icon and in this class, we have put a number of single shares in. And those are the rooms that are single. You got some privacy. You share the bathroom with somebody else, but you've got your own private space. And it's pretty nice, isn't it? Yeah. We'll talk a little bit further along in the interview today about what our actual bunk cabins look like as well, because they were really cool. And as Sean mentioned, of course, they were patented for this ship. And you guys actually played a role in that when we started to design those cabins out. Cool. Mike, how are you doing? You winning?
It's pretty close.
Is it? In other words, they're being crushed by restaurants. And again, this space is super well utilized. Of course, we're towards the front of the ship. You know, again, a space that's up and running often in the morning. So when we would come in the mornings, lots of times for our coffee as the executive committee, we would oftentimes see that the ping pong tables are well used, as well as the pool table. This space is designed specifically for our crew. And around this area as well, we've got our ATMs. We also have our crew kiosks here. So crew are really able to take care of themselves here on board if they want to pay off their CPAS card or they want to withdraw any money from the ATMs. That's all in this space. And when we're at sea, it's even busier than that sometimes. So, Mike?
Game, set, match.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations, restaurant.
All right, so we're stood outside of the Crew Gaming Lounge, which I personally feel is one of the coolest places in the Crew neighborhood.
So true, so true. So we designed this space specifically so that as part of the community space that we're in right now, the crew could tuck away in here. So we put in here 6 PlayStation 5s, the newest, of course, and we have one free play TV is here as well. So if crew members come with a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch or anything, they can hook up to that TV as well. This space is specifically dark, for gaming specifically for that. The chairs are super comfortable, and this is really a great space to unwind and relax, and it is busy all the time.
Yeah, we actually wanted to film from in there, but it was just so dark that you wouldn't have seen us. You know, it'd be, you know, 2 little Canadians kind of,
right,
you know, trying to say something. But
truly.
But it is an amazing place, and if you're a gamer or you just want some quiet time away from, you know, we get a lot of sensory overload on our ships, right?
So true.
And so it's a nice quiet public space where you come in, have a nice quiet conversation, or just put on your headphones and just melt. You know?
It's true. This space, when we originally designed it, or was being designed originally, they were looking at how they were going to actually be able to put more things in this space. And one really cool thing that we haven't even shared with our own crew yet here on the Icon, so this is quite revolutionary what we're doing right now. We actually have been given a Red Bull racing seat for this ship. So the F1 racing seat is coming actually next week for us. Some of you out in the fleet have a racing seat on because of course your HDs won that at the conference last year, but we've just been given one for this crew and we've got a specific spot for this. But this really is an unwind recharge space for the crew. And this place is busy, and the crew love this. And of course, PlayStation 5, what more could you want than the newest, latest, and greatest?
You know, I'll tell you what this ship has that a lot of ships don't, which is they're really forward thinking, is they've got charging stations everywhere in the crew areas.
Right. So one of the things that the design team looked at was, you know, as we're moving forward with technology and we need to charge all the time, there's charging ports absolutely everywhere. Whether you're sitting in one of the massage chairs, you're sitting here playing whether playing ping pong or pool, there's charging stations absolutely everywhere. USB-Cs, USBs, power plugs, we've got charging stations everywhere because of course we are more attuned to and really attached to our devices at this point.
We certainly are.
We are indeed.
All right, well now we're going to take you and show you what we call some B-roll footage, so some static footage of some other cool areas, including the crew gym and
of course, we want to show you a really cool feature on board our ship. So we've got a crew pub upstairs that's on deck number 7, and just off to the side, you know, at home you've got a patio where you might hang out. We've got a crew patio here, which is also really, really cool. Our team is going to actually shoot that for you as well, so you can see what that looks like. And we're going to also show you what is our crew karaoke room as well on board this ship. So we've got a specific room that can be a karaoke room. It can also be a bar, but it can also be a secondary training space for us. It's a multi-purpose room that we're able to utilize in whatever we need within the operation. So some really cool features that exist here on board.
And you know what's funny is the karaoke room has already been booked for 7 straight weeks by the Blue Boys, so.
Absolutely. So Dexter's obviously one of our lifeguards, and I think one of the advantages to us is when we started to design the actual crew cabins on board this ship, and some of you will have participated actually in this because when you were a Miami or a South Florida ship, you would have been brought off the ship to actually participate in the design. So you would have looked at the features of a mock-up, and we had a number of crew that came off. And out of that, we designed these incredible cabins on board that are L-shaped, they've got stairs, really a cool space. And Dexter actually lives in one of those cabins. So Dexter, tell me a little about your cabin and why you like it.
I like my cabin very much because first, it's more spacious than other cabins that I have been. And then the design and on the bunk beds, it's very nice, it's aesthetic, and it's also safe for us now to climb up on our beds on the top because it's very easy already to access.
Right, and I think that's one of the cool features. So on most of our ships, our bunks are stacked on top of each other and you've got to crawl up the ladder to get to the upper bunk. On this ship, the way that the design was actually done, as Dexter talked about, there's an actual staircase that has storage in it that leads you up to the upper bunk. And I think what's really cool is, correct me if I'm wrong, Dexter, each bed in the bedroom or in the cabin actually has a TV. You have got your own TVs,
Yes,
right?
I have my own TV, and actually on the drawers down on my bed, I have my own luggage to put.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things too that the crew talked about to us, was to say, you know, we need in our room, we need more space for luggage, and of course space is a premium, of course, and yet, you know, when you look at the way these cabins are actually done and built, that was one of the key comebacks from the feedback, was we need more space, and that's exactly what we did, was built in. So you've got hanging space, but you've also got a spot to tuck your luggage away. Great.
Yeah, you know, and I've noticed that as well, Robert, is the space in the rooms has really been maximized. The bathrooms, you know, there was always a lot of empty space, which I'm just, you know, you see on other ships, and it's like, God, you know, there could have been some storage there, or some, you know, extra drawers or something like that. It's something that we've always missed, and I think they did exceptionally well on the ship.
I agree, and you know what, I want to also comment on that too, because I think, you know what, when we asked you guys to come out and give us your feedback, you were really honest with us, and that actually contributed to not only the cabins that we built with, the bunk cabins like Dexter lives in, but they also went back and looked at what they could do in other cabins. So whether it was the single share cabins, whether it was the officer cabins, some of the larger cabins, inside cabins, they really maximized the space, and it gave us a bigger footprint within the room to actually have space. It was great.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dexter.
Thanks, Dexter. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Great.
All right, let's take that little bit of a B-roll tour and check out some of the other unique crew spaces here on board Icon of the Seas. So as we wrap this up, we started with a ribbon cutting, and now we are going to tie a little bow on this video here of our crew areas on board Icon of the Seas. Robert, any final words here today?
No, I really want to say, I think, first of all, to the Icon crew, but I think also to all of the crew that are out there in our fleet. You know, thank you for everything that you do. Sean talked about us and living the Royal Way brand standards, being friendly, passionate, and committed. That allows us to continue with our new build program. You know, we've got more ships that are coming online. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you to the Icon crew specifically for the hard work and the heavy lift that they had to do to get this ship online. I think we've got an amazing product that we're putting out. We've got an amazing space for our crew. We look forward to seeing you on one of the Icon class ships, because we have a few of these that are coming our direction. Star is going to be next in the class. But thank you for everything that you do. Thanks to the Icon team and everybody that's on board the Icon of the Seas. It's been an amazing journey, and we hope that you get on to enjoy some of the spaces that we have here on board the Icon of the Seas.
So on behalf of Robert, our Newbuild HR manager, and of course me, Mike, the cruise director here on board Icon, our executive committee, and our senior leadership who have joined us here today as well. Thank you for tuning in. Have a spectacular day wherever you are on planet Earth, and we hope to see you on this or another one of our Royal Caribbean ships around the fleet.